Hi students, coming to the chapter 5, that is the snake and the mirror. Have a look at it, the book Beehive, chapter 5, and it's a simple story, a very simple story, but humorous and a very small thought to be kept in your mind after listening to this story. Written by the great writer of Malabar, this is the northern part of Kerala, Vaikam Muhammad Bashir, in the colloquial language of Calicut, translated by Abdullah. There is nothing special. Here the story is one doctor and his friends is sitting together and they are talking their past memories. So in that they were talking about the subject about snakes. So this doctor is telling his experience when he was a young person. When the story is told or when the story he is telling to others, he may be a grown-up matured person, but when this incident is taking place, he was a young person. Keep that in mind, otherwise there is nothing special. It's very easy to understand. Let us go to the explanations one by one. Story of a doctor and snake. This story is about a snake. It had entered into the narrator's room. The doctor itself is telling the story to us also. The narrator is a doctor. He had just started his practice those days. It was a hot summer night. The story is taking place in hot summer night somewhere in Kerala. Doctor see his face in the mirror. The doctor had his meals at the restaurant and returned home. The rented house was not electrified, so he lighted the kerosene lamp. Then he took off his coat, shirt, opened the two windows. After some time, he settled on the chair and took out a book to read. Actually, in the story, he is telling that when he was a young person, he just passed out his degree as a homeo doctor and he started practicing. Practicing means consulting the patients. In the starting, any doctor need to wait, be patient to get more and more patients. So basically his income was very less and he was living in a small rented house. And in that rented house, it was not an electrified one. It's a long time back, so the electricity was a big wonder that time. So it was not an electrified house. In that house, he just came after the night meal. And the usual during that time, it is usual that people have the food outside when especially they are bachelors. Bachelors mean the one who is not married and settled anywhere. They are just living, earning and just eating outside and coming to the room. So what happened? Let us see. Here one more thing I want to say. The doctor is seeing his face in the mirror. Why that heading I had given is that the doctor was having a habit. He loves to be very handsome. So he is looking in the mirror and he is telling that anybody in the world will have a tendency, all will get attracted to look at least once when a mirror is there. If the mirror is not there, no problem. But when there is a mirror near to you somewhere, whether it is a shopping mall or home or anywhere, you will have a tendency to look. Doctor looked and he felt, I am looking handsome, I am a bachelor and I should be always smiling, I should be always clean shaved and I should be looking smart because I am a bachelor, because I am a doctor. Then let us see what happens. A snake comes into his story. The doctor got up. He was sitting in his room. He paced up and down in the room. The thought of his marriage came to him. He thought of marrying a wealthy doctor. His wife had to be fat, so she won't catch him if he ran away. He came back and sat at the table. The sound of the rat had stopped. You have to remember, the sound of the rat has stopped. In reality, if you read the story completely, very simply it is written, that is why I didn't make much slide. You must understand that the room where he was living was a tiled one. It's not a concreted one. So He was just came. So when he opened the door, some sound came from top and he is not bothered. Reason, so many rats are there in the room. Somewhere in the story is telling that I and the rat shared the room. That was a condition. And it was a summer night, so he was not getting the sleep. So what he did, he started walking inside the room. He just came out, no wind. He thought, oh, even the wind god also taken leave or what? So again he went to the room, started moving here and there. He looked at the mirror that we saw. Now he started walking. When he started walking in the room, one thought came to his mind. First he thought that I should be looking smart. Now he thought, I should marry a girl who is a doctor and having a lot of money and lot of patience. And she must be fat. You will wonder why a person should marry a girl who is fat. He is having a reason that when these two are fighting, usually husband and wife will have some small fight and all. So when he runs away after making fun of her or something, she should not be able to run behind him and catch him. So that she should be fat. If she is fat, she will not be able to run behind him. That is the idea he is thinking. A funny way he thought. There was a large mirror on the table. Those days, doctor bothered much about his look. He therefore picked up the comb and parted his hair. He looked at his reflection in the mirror. Then he practiced an attractive smile. Thinking all these things, again he came back to the chair, sat in front of the mirror, looked into it, combed his hair at night, 10 o'clock before sleep. You can imagine the fun. He combed his hair and he thought, I will be looking smart again. I will be always keeping a smile on my face to look handsome. So 2-3 things he decided. Always clean shave, looking smart, smiling always, and must marry a fat, rich girl who is a doctor. Reason, she should not be able to run behind me. And by this time, one more time, he heard the sound. The sound from roof. Suddenly, there was a dull thud. As he turned his head, a fat snake landed over his shoulder. Before the doctor could think of anything, the snake had coiled around his left arm above the elbow. His hood means tail, was spread out. His head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from his face. So while he was thinking, he heard the sound, everything stopped. Now he was keep on thinking about his beauty, about the wife, all that. Suddenly he heard something is falling down, something like rubber. It was not giving a clapping or a clattering sound. Instead, it is written as dull thud. You can see in there. There was a dull thud. Dull thud means a soft materials are falling like that. What was it? He just thought nothing to bother, maybe a rat or something. He just turned. The moment he turned back, a fat snake fell on his shoulder and the chair, and it slipped and coiled around his hand, thinking it is a stick or something. The doctor could not move, could not scream, couldn't do anything. Before that, the snake coiled on his left arm. And the doctor is just like a stone standing there because he is afraid. And the funniest part, the tail part was just hanging and the head was just 4 inches away from his face. And this is a cobra. You can imagine the condition of the doctor. Let us see what happens to him. The doctor sat there as if he were a piece of stone. He thought of only one help, the help from the God. It seemed God appreciated that. The snake turned his head and looked into the mirror. The snake then unwound from the doctor's arm. 2 minutes before the snake was falling, he was telling, I am a doctor, I am a bachelor, I must marry a fat girl, I look handsome and I should be looking more handsome, I should be keep on giving a smile. The snake fell down, it wounded against his arm, he is finished. Not able to breathe, not able to do any action, totally frightened, only one help he thought, that is, oh God. And he thought, maybe I was thinking something more against the God. That is why this happened. Now I am a foolish, stupid doctor who doesn't have any medicine in my room. In the room he is having one suitcase, in that some dresses and some money. That's all. Nothing else. He thought, what medicine should I take? Oh, I don't have any medicine. You see, I was telling I was a doctor. Now I am a foolish doctor that I am not keeping any medicine with me. Now if at all the snake is biting, what will I do? He himself called, I am a foolish doctor. I am a idiotic doctor. Like that he started telling himself as a foolish. Maybe that God liked. Because soon after that prayer, or soon after he is telling I am a foolish, idiotic doctor, the snake started looking into the mirror. After looking into the mirror, it started loosening from his hand and started moving towards the table where the mirror is kept. He fell into it. He means the snake. He fell into his lap. From there it crept on the table. Then it moved towards the mirror. Apparently, it wanted to see its reflection more closely. This was the doctor's opportunity. Very slowly, he got up from the chair. He ran out of the house in no moment. So slowly the snake started loosening from his hand, went on his lap. From the lap, it went on to the table where the mirror is there, and the snake started looking at the mirror. So this fellow thought, maybe the snake is also looking its beauty. The doctor is telling that, I heard many stories that snakes are looking into the mirror, but this is the first time he himself is watching a snake is looking into the mirror. So snake was there, and suddenly the man who was sitting like a stone became very active. He was sitting like a stone 2 minutes before because the snake was in his hand and the face of his snake and his face was 4 inches away. One moment, if he would have moved, the snake would have bit him, he would have finished. But now the snake has gone down from his arm, gone to the lap, gone to the table where the mirror was there, and it is looking and admiring its own beauty. And in between he is telling, I don't know whether it is a male or female snake. What if the snake is trying to comb his hair or trying to put a mascara on the eye? He's making the fun. But suddenly he started thinking, now it is an opportunity to escape from here. Slowly, without even breathing properly, he came out of the chair and started moving, ran out in the darkness and ran to his friend's house. He reached a friend's house and spent his time there. He came back to his house only next morning. It was about 8:30. He had with him his friend and 1 or 2 others. So he ran there to the friend's house. He went there, put oil on the body, took bath, changed the dress. And he told the friends, and next day morning he came back to see whether snake is still there in the room or not. He took his 1 or 2 friends with the sticks and all, he came back. But what he saw was, his room was totally empty. His suitcase is missing. His coat is missing. His shirt is missing. Only one thing is left there. One banyan, the vest, what he was wearing under the shirt, it is hanging there. Remaining everything is stolen by somebody. The snake is not there. Suitcase is not there. His belongings are not there. The room is almost empty other than one vest hanging on the wall. That means when he ran away from that house, some thief came, and when the thief came, the snake was not there or not. The thief has taken everything, including the kerosene lamp, suitcase, dresses, money, everything. But he still kept one thing there. That was the dirty vest the doctor was using. Maybe the thief was making fun of the doctor also. See, you are so dirty. Something like that. So this is the part of the story. In this, he is telling this to his friend. In between, one of the friend is asking, oh, you escaped from that. What about your wife? Did you get a fat girl? The doctor is telling, I wish though, but the God gave me a very thin girl who is very good in running. That means the doctor is thinking something, planning something, but God has given something totally different. This is the point that you have to remember. When he was telling that I am a bachelor, I am a doctor too, I am smart. No time the snake came, from his mouth only one sound came. What is it? Oh God. Now, he escaped from the snake. Afterwards, he got married. But not a fat girl, but instead a thin girl who is good in running. What was his wish? A fat girl who cannot run behind him when there is a fight between them. This is what is the small idea or small tip that you can get from this lesson. There is a say in English. There is a say in English. Man proposes, God disposes. That means people prepare everything, but the God plans something else for us. It is always for our goodness, but it happens. That is what this lesson is giving a small message. Otherwise, it's a humorous story to read and just laugh. That's all. Bye-bye.